All right, so part two, which will be half of placental mammals. So a placental mammal means that the embryo, um, so when you're making the baby, the embryo develops inside the mother's body in an organ called the uterus. And there's an attachment between the uterus and mom called the placenta, or the uterus and the embryo called the placenta. The placenta will carry food and oxygen from the mother's blood to the embryo and also carry away the waste from the embryo. So that's why they're called placental mammals, because they have a placenta. And the time that it takes the embryo to develop in the uterus is called the gestation period. So here's an image. So this is what happens when you are being developed. It's you there as the embryo, and obviously this is more like a fetus than an embryo. And the placenta is attaching you to the uterus so that you can get the blood flow from mom. So living placental mammals are divided into 11 main groups that contain 18 orders. So there's a lot to cover, so that's why I'm only going to do half in one video and half in another. So we've got first, anteaters, armadillos, and sloths. They're generally called toothless mammals because they either have no teeth, like anteaters, or they have really, really small teeth. Most of them catch insects with long, sticky tongues. Then you have your insectivores, which eat insects. Most of them are small, with long pointed noses. And this includes your moles, your shrews, and your hedgehogs. Then you have your rodents, which occupy more than a third of mammal species. And this includes squirrels, mice, and porcupines, as well as some other things like guinea pigs. Then you have rabbits, hares, and pikas, which some of this also belongs into the rodent category, but some of them don't. And they have sharp, gnawing teeth, have 2 sets of incisors in their upper jaw, and they have shorter tails, so that's why they have their own group here. Then you have your flying mammals, which is literally just bats. They're the only mammals that can fly, and most of them use what's called echolocation to find their way for food and just in general to make sure they don't bump into things and die. Then you have your carnivorous mammals. They have large canines, which are the shearing teeth, and special molars, which are the grinding teeth, so that they can cut their meat up and slice it. And this includes bears, cats, dogs, otters, and hyenas. I know it's interesting that we put cats and dogs in here, but I don't know if you realize that all the food that you might feed them is just pure protein. We never give them like plant-based stuff, and that's why it's not recommended that you put your animals on vegan or vegetarian diets, because they don't get enough protein. And then you also have trunk-nosed mammals, which is just elephants. Elephants are the only mammals that have a trunk. And the trunk is a combination of an upper lip and a nose. So I believe that's about halfway through, so in the next half I will continue to hoofed mammals and cetaceans.